From the 2000s. Basically, we got Royal Rumble 2000. Great DVD. Picked this one up off of Amazon for $10. It was a steal of a bargain. Don't have a lot of stuff coming in right now, mostly because saving up for SummerSlam. But this has a great match. Taz vs. Angles is one of my favorites, but also Triple H versus Cactus Jack. When Triple H was coming up, he was really being helped out by Cactus Jack. He had two great matches, one with Royal Rumble, and then they had the Hell in the Cell at the next pay-per-view. And basically, Cactus Jack made him look like a real champion. And I think Triple H owes a lot to Mick Foley for putting him in the spot he was at, making him believable. And it also comes with this picture of Terry Reynolds, where if you put your finger over her face, she actually looks real attractive. Oh, man. Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Tonight, we're going to be reviewing none other than Royal Rumble 2000. I'm sitting here holding the DVD, honestly, because I just want to show it off. I got it signed by Mick Foley, right there on the cover of Rock's face. I got this signed at the Mick Foley Comedy Show here in Sacramento, California. This was right before WrestleMania 29. He was preparing his Hall of Fame speech. Very fun night. I think I got 3 autographs from him that night. One of them, I chose the Royal Rumble one. I don't know why I didn't pick one of the sort of Mick Foley documentaries. I know that the newest release, the Mick Foley Have a Nice Day Blu-ray, hadn't been released yet. But for some reason, I picked this one. This, honestly, top to bottom, is probably one of the best Royal Rumble cards out there. This is probably a must-have for anybody who's a fan of wrestling DVDs. If not, this is a must-watch on the WWE DVD... Wait a minute. WWE Network, not the WWE DVD Network. So, soon, maybe someday. But as of right now, the WWE Network, awesome watch here for you. Can't go wrong. Royal Rumble 2000. So many awesome things were going down in the WWE at this time. I guess it'd be the WWF as well. But opening match gets me fired up every time. Kurt Angle, undefeated with his 3 eyes inside of the WWE. He comes out for his, basically his unknown man is challenging him. Everyone knew it was going to be Taz making his WWF debut, coming over from ECW, the Human Suplex Machine. He came into WWF, he added a Z to his name to avoid a copyright issue with the Tasmanian Devil from Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes, stuff like that. But Taz came in and was the first guy to beat Kurt Angle. I honestly thought that Taz was going to be huge for the WWF. I know that he honestly didn't fit in. Once he got there, the WWF has always been a big man territory. Taz, although ECW made this guy look like he was 10 feet tall, he was one of the first guys to really come in and really get over with this sort of MMA style of being a professional wrestler, coming in with the grappling and just, he can hit you with the suplex from any direction, and that's what he did here. And to beat Kurt Angle, he threw on the Tazmission and basically choked out Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle would basically use this on Monday Night Raw to get this win, I believe, thrown out. I think everybody still remembers Taz is the first guy to beat Angle. But this was a really big feud for Taz to come in and beat, the undefeated Kurt Angle. I really thought that he was going to go on and become, I don't know. I really thought he was going to come in and he'd become WWF champion. I really thought he was going to be a main eventer. I thought that they would really improve on what ECW had built for him. I think as far as he got was the hardcore title. I don't think he ever won the Intercontinental. I don't think he ever won the European. I think he just was a guy that sort of got branded in that hardcore style of being the guy from ECW with, Raven and a lot of other guys. But what could have been, who knows? He did become one of the best wrestling announcers that they have out there today. Still going strong for Impact Wrestling. From there we go to the Hardy Boys, going up against the Dudley Boys in an elimination table match. Early in the match, the Hardy Boys put Bubba through a table, and it's a little bit mixed up because you would think if it's an elimination match, it would be 2-on-1, but Bubba gets to stay inside of the ring. And then to make it even more confusing, Matt and Jeff put Devon on a table in order to put him through, and both Matt and Jeff miss Bubba putting himself through a table, which would make you think that they're eliminated now, losing the match, and the Dudley Boys would get the win. But I guess it doesn't count as going through a table if you put yourself through a table. So the match continues. All four guys competing in there, duking it out. Finally, Devon is laid out on a table where the where the wrestlers walk down the walkway. They're in Madison Square Garden. They have that smaller sort of deal. They had a cool setup with a taxi cab hanging over the top, and basically Jeff climbs up to the top, hits his senton bomb off of the top, putting Devon through a table for one of the most remarkable finishes to a table match I've ever seen, jumping from the balcony down to the floor. Basically, Matt has to grab Jeff's body, and in order to get him back to the ring, in order to celebrate their big win, Matt is lifting Jeff like he's like 1,000 pounds, throwing him over the barricade. Jeff just plops down to the ground. I don't know how hurt he was from doing this spot, but you got to give it up to him. One of the most memorable Hardy Boy and Madison Square Garden moments I can think of. From there, we go to a little weird situation, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho and Chyna come in as the reigning Intercontinental Champions, wrestling against Hardcore Holly. Chyna looks like she's got this match in the bag, capturing Hardcore Holly in the middle of the ring, in the walls of Jericho. Jericho comes bouncing off the ropes, hits Chyna with a one-armed DDT, or a bulldog DDT, I guess you can say, and he's able to roll Chyna up to become the sole Intercontinental Champion. Moving on from there, New Age Outlaws beat the Acolytes in a match for the Tag Team Championship. Nothing really big there. And then we go to the street fight for the WWF Championship. Basically, this is Triple H against Cactus Jack. The McMahon-Helmsley era was going strong these days on Raw and SmackDown. Basically, Triple H and Stephanie were running the show, much like they were doing it today. And they decided to make Mick Foley's life a living hell, harassing him to the point where they finally fired him. The Rock came down in the middle of the ring with all of the WWF superstars, heels and faces, and basically said they were walking out on the McMahon-Helmsley era. They were going to boycott Raw if Mick Foley did not receive his job back. Mick Foley came back when basically Stephanie and Triple H gave in to the demands. And when he came down to the ring to say hello and being welcomed back to Monday Night Raw, he challenged Triple H to a street fight for the WWF Championship at the Royal Rumble, which was accepted. From there, they would go on and they would wrestle in I believe it was a tag match, where Triple H would beat Mick Foley in the middle of the ring, basically after giving him a pedigree a few times, and I think he smacked him around with the ring bell. And from there, Cactus Jack debuted because Mick Foley knew that he would have to be a little bit more hardcore in order to go on and battle Triple H and win the WWF Championship. This would be a big turn. If you can remember back to I can't remember if it was 96, it might have been 97. Mick Foley had been wrestling for Mankind for a while. It was in Madison Square Garden as well, and they were going to have a Falls Count Anywhere, I believe, a match with Triple H because they had been feuding at the time. And Cactus Jack debuted because basically Dude Love and Mankind both sat down during an interview and both agreed that in order to beat Triple H in a street fight, he was going to have to be a little bit more extreme. And Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the time, sells the debut of Cactus Jack better than anybody. I mean, like, he'd fight anybody that night, but he's not fighting Cactus Jack. No way. And they basically play off that, bringing it back. I can't remember if it was 2 years or 3 years. I guess that was either 96 or 97. But basically, they get in the ring and they have one hell of a match. This is probably the best, Triple H versus Cactus Jack match there is. I do like the rematch the next month in the Hell in the Cell, which was supposed to be the first Mick Foley retirement, where he would get called back to do WrestleMania 2000. But in this match, it's really, really cool. These guys, start out just all out brawling, throwing each other into the steps and fighting around the ring, fighting up the entranceway. And as they are fighting up the entranceway, it's sort of set up like it's almost like a back alley, you would think, but it's right there in front of all the fans. And there's pallets and all sorts of things. A pallet gets laid down where basically they're just going to do an easy spot where Cactus Jack is going to take a back body drop onto the pallet, and when he hits the pallet, which is made out of wood, little wood strips, he hits it, it makes the pallet break, and when the pallet breaks, the wood snaps and goes up like this. It goes right into Triple H's calf, right above his boots, right below where the knee pad would be, and it's actually like a knife stab right into it. You can see him have to pull it out, and once he pulls it out, you can see the blood come gushing out of it, and it's something that they can't stop the match. They can't do anything. He just has to severe all of that blood loss in his leg, basically, with, he's probably got splinters and all sorts of stuff in there. If you asked him, he probably didn't even feel the pain. He probably just knew that he had to get through the match. At one point, Cactus Jack is handcuffed and is taking chair shots from Triple H, much like the Royal Rumble was. The Royal Rumble, Mick Foley versus versus The Rock match as well. But in this match, The Rock comes out and makes the save with his own theme music, and he's basically able to lay Triple H out with a chair shot, take the handcuffs off of Mick Foley, and the fight goes on from there. But Triple H ends up gaining the victory. Awesome match, about 30 minutes, great, awesome stuff. From there, we go to the 30-man Royal Rumble. Winner of this would go on to be the number one contender for WrestleMania 2000, even though that ended up becoming a 4-way. It starts it off with D'Lo Brown and Grandmaster Sexay, not two of the best ones, but as Grandmaster Sexay is coming down, they're playing off the fact that Brian Christopher is Jerry Lawler's son, and Lawler is really pissed that his son got such a low number, and he's in shock that he's not going to win this. From there, he's joined by Mosh, Christian, Rikishi comes down. Once Rikishi is there, Rikishi just starts eliminating everybody until it's him and Grandmaster Sexay, the two members of Too Cool. From there, it looks like Rikishi is about to eliminate Grandmaster Sexay when the buzzer goes off. Scotty 2 Hotty comes running out of the back. Once he hits the ring, he asks the crowd if they want to see a dance-off. Rikishi and Too Cool get down with the all-out dance, gets the pop of the night. Rikishi, about halfway through the dance, now he doesn't really turn on him. They're his partners, but everybody knows what's going on. Rikishi grabs Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay and eliminates both of them from the ring. From there, Steve Blackman and Viscera join the party, both eliminated by Rikishi. Rikishi eliminates the first 7 men from the Royal Rumble. From then, the next man to come down would be the Big Boss Man, who comes down to the ring, and instead of getting right into the ring with Rikishi, he knows the fate that the last few guys have all suffered. He waits on the outside until the number 10 guy would be Test. I thought Test was a member of the corporation, so I thought maybe the fix was in. But once Test gets down to ringside, he attacks the Big Boss Man, throws him into the ring, and the fight is on from there. From there, guys start to build up inside of the ring. I don't believe Rikishi eliminates anybody else after that, but he gets his big sort of Diesel-like moment during there. From there, we get Gangrel, Edge, Bob Backlund. At that point, a lot of these guys gang up and all eliminate Rikishi all at the same time, dumping him out, increasing their chances to move on. From there, we get Jericho, Crash Holly, Chyna. As the Rumble is going on, there's two teams. There's the Mean Street Posse and there's Kai and Tai, and they're both pissed because they both went to draw numbers from the Royal Rumble, where they were asked, or they were told that they were invited to be in the Royal Rumble, but they decided they're going to try and crash this party. 3 times throughout the night, Kai and Tai tries to jump into the ring. All 3 times, as soon as they get in, they're thrown out. On the second time, Taka Michinoku takes a bad bump flying out of the ring, where he lands on his face, suffering a concussion, where he's taken to the hospital. So the third run-in by Funaki alone is met by that. From there, we have... oh, shoot, where was I? From there, we have Farouk coming down, who's eliminated by a non-Royal Rumble person, a non-Royal Rumble person in the Mean Street Posse coming down to eliminate him. From there, we get Road Dogg, Al Snow, Val Venus, Prince Albert, Hardcore Holly. The Rock comes out. As soon as Bradshaw comes in at number 27, the Mean Street Posse come down. They eliminate Bradshaw again, starting a APA versus Mean Street Posse Rumble that takes them all the way to the back. Kane, Godfather, and X-Pac finish out the draw. From there, the final 4 ends up being X-Pac, Big Show, Kane, and The Rock, leaving Big Show and The Rock in there at the same time. They try to play off the finish of Lex Luger and Bret Hart, where both go over the top at the same time, which plays into them having a match the next pay-per-view as well, and both of them being added to WrestleMania 2000. Brock gets the win, so he gets the glory in Madison Square Garden. An awesome show. Make sure you watch this to get fired up for the Royal Rumble.